Yorta Claire. I'm a proud Yorta Yorta woman. My name is Claire and my totem is a long-necked turtle. I tell people it means I stick my neck out for more, but I've got a hard shell if you want to have a crack, which is perfect for the industry I work in, which is infrastructure. I'm Executive Director in School Infrastructure in the Department of Education. And I note no matter where you're meeting from today, you're meeting from the lands of various First Nations people, because it always has been and always will be Aboriginal land, because it was never ceded. Today, I have the absolute joy of talking to you about Reconciliation Week, a very important week in our Australian calendar. It is about walking together in the true spirit of reconciliation. It is about making sure that we have truth-telling to acknowledge some of the atrocities of the past, such as the fact that we were considered fauna and flora in our own country until the 1967 referendum, and the fact that until 1972, under the Clean, Clad and Courteous policy, we were not considered clean, clad or courteous enough to be educated in the state of New South Wales, which has led to things like the Closing the Gap issues around education, employment, health, etc. If you haven't experienced Reconciliation Week, or if your organisation doesn't celebrate it, I invite you to think about next year and start planning now. I need you to be brave. I need you to speak up as an ally, think about what it is to be a good human, what it is to be a friend, what it is to walk with us in the spirit of reconciliation. So be brave in calling things out that are not okay, above the line and below the line behaviours, and to make change. We are change makers. In this year, we have the opportunity to walk together to ensure that more women are in roles, senior roles, for the economic prosperity of females. We also have the ability to make change in terms of the economic prosperity of First Nations people. So when you're buying things, stationery, paper, catering, if you go to Supply Nation, you can see a list of Aboriginal businesses. Aboriginal businesses are the biggest employers of Aboriginal people. And if you make that change, it's a very simple, very easy change. I'm not talking about mass procurement like we do in infrastructure. I'm talking about daily thinking. If you need to buy sandwiches for that next conference, why wouldn't you engage with an Aboriginal catering company? If you buy paper, pens, all these things that we know we buy, and government's the biggest buyer of stationery, by the way, if you think about things like that, if you work in any organisation, if you decide to buy and procure from Aboriginal businesses, you are adding to Aboriginal employment, Aboriginal economic outcomes, and as we know, even if you don't care about Aboriginal people, and I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to care about Aboriginal people, but if you don't care about that, everyone paying taxes means better hospitals, better roads, and better schools for everyone. So everyone wins out of the economic prosperity piece of First Nations people. What are you going to do? Will you step into the space of Aboriginal procurement? I hope so. Will you step into learning a good acknowledgement of country and not making it tokenism? I hope so. Will you be curious about the strength that comes from the oldest living culture in the world, First Nations culture here in Australia? Will you step into that space in a respectful manner and walk with us, learn from us, and acknowledge the past? I hope so.